Well, nothing for it. Time to take out the trash. Come on, get in there, you fucking... Shit. Fuck. Come. Oh. Oh, come on. This is what I think of Hellbent. No. We can't be here. Surely we can't be here. No. Don't tell me I've got to do this. Oh. Oh. Hello, my fellow Whovians and subscribers, and admit it, you were looking forward to this one. Welcome to my extreme, epic, major, fucking rant on the Doctor Who Series 9 finale, which is the 262nd Doctor Who story, Hell Bent, written by Stephen Moffat. I've got an absolute cracker of an episode. Starring Peter Capaldi as the 12th Doctor. Fuck it. The plot of Hellbent. You can call it a plot. After being tortured for billions of years inside his own confession dial, the Doctor has been pushed to the brink of madness. Returning to Gallifrey, he must face his own people, the Time Lords. But how far will he go in his quest for vengeance? Does he have another confession? And how fiercely does his rage towards them for causing Clara's death burn? It says a lot when the Doctor Who wiki page explains the plot better than the episode does. I think I need to cleanse myself after this episode. Hellbent is a disgraceful Doctor Who episode. This is by far the worst of Series 9. And it's also one of the worst in the entire show. It's that fucking bad. How did we go from Heaven Sent to this? There are several reasons why I hate this story. There are several reasons why this story is so fucking bad. But let me start with the first one. This story completely contradicts and undermines and undoes the events of the previous two stories. Face the Raven ended with Clara's death, and it was very well done. It was beautiful, and it was tragic. They bring Clara back in this story. Literally, the moment of her death, the Doctor grabs her and pulls her into the adventure and is trying to find a way to save her. I kind of get it from a certain angle because he misses her, although her death is a fixed point, so it can't be avoided. And what we get is, oh, fuck. Welcome to the ego trip of Stephen Moffat. Stephen Moffat decides to write this overly long-winded, convoluted, complicated way of delaying Clara's death, put it that way. So it all comes down to the Doctor and Clara having this scene in a version of the TARDIS that is like the very first TARDIS from William Hartnell, where they discuss the possibility, obviously losing each other. Either way, one of them has to lose. It comes down to the Doctor sacrificing his memories of Clara and not knowing exactly what happened to keep her safe. But of course, Clara can't evade her death. And then she is given this TARDIS, which actually happens to be in the old diner from The Impossible Astronaut and Day of the Moon. If you remember the Matt Smith story where they went to America, it's that TARDIS there. So Ashilda and Clara end the story by flying off in their own TARDIS to have their own adventures, and Clara's like, oh, we could take the long way around to my death. It's fine. We'll make some stops. So essentially kind of maybe setting up some kind of spin-off. Who knows? But the reason why I hate this is because it completely undermines Face the Raven. I thought Face the Raven's exit was tragic, yet beautiful for Clara. Now, that was completely redundant, and it was completely pointless. And obviously everything the Doctor has done and has been doing all comes down to the whole hybrid revelation, and that's very vague as well, so I wouldn't get too excited about that. And not only does this story undo Face the Raven, it also undoes Heaven Sent, because apparently, according to the Time Lords, all the Doctor had to do was say what he knew, and then he would have got out. So basically what you're saying, Moffat, is that the Doctor didn't actually have to go through all of those puzzles and the big time loop that was inside his own confession dial in the previous story. So now that story is completely redundant. It makes no impact or no sense. It made no difference to this overarching narrative that we've had over these last 3 episodes. What was the point, Stephen? What was the point? Oh, Heaven Sent was so good. How did we go from that to this? Unbelievable. Oh my God. And another thing, this story is so fucking boring. There is no excitement in this story. Characters stand around and explain the plot. Or, well, lack of plot. It just goes on forever. And you scratch your head trying to work out what the hell the story is about, because it's so damn confusing. And it's again, Moffat trying to be very pretentious with his script. There's this whole kind of callback, like I said, with the diner. And at the beginning of the story, again, it's told non-linear. So Clara is in a diner for some reason, and the Doctor walks in. And it appears as though Clara does not remember the Doctor. But as I've already explained, it's then revealed later that the Doctor was the one who had his memories wiped. So Clara was pretending that she didn't know what the Doctor was talking about. Like, all of this was supposed to add some kind of emotional impact to Clara's farewell, and it didn't do any of that. It just undid what was already a very satisfying ending, and it made a complete mess of it. Also, the Ashilda characters in this story, God knows why. Don't know why she's here, why they needed her. She's completely irrelevant. Peter Capaldi and Jenna Coleman and Maisie Williams and all the actors, they really try their best. They try their best with what they have, but they cannot save this piece of shit. Oh, and also, this is the first story to introduce the concept of regeneration. And by that, I mean a male regenerating into a female. Now, I know in the past I've expressed a few concerns about a female Doctor and the way that Jodie Whittaker was cast. I still have my reservations about the kind of the box ticking isms of why she was cast, but more on that later. As for this story, I don't mind the concept of the gender switch. You know, I'm over that now. That's the choice that the show decided to make, and that's fine. They've committed to it. Respect. But what I don't respect as a man is the way that when the general turns into the woman then starts insulting the male sex by saying, oh, how'd you deal with that ego? Fuck you, Moffat! Especially as the fact that this is written by a man, I take even more offense to that. As a male, I don't understand why you had to have this completely contrived scene where the Doctor had to shoot someone who, honestly, he had no reason to shoot him. They had a pretty decent relationship. And then, no, completely squandered that. It was written in just for the sake of doing this. I really think this was like PC box ticking. This was not done for any story-related reason. It was done for the agenda. And I'm sorry. And I'm sorry to people that like this story, but this is just my personal opinion that there was no plot reason for that to happen. And then that character doesn't really do anything for the rest of the story. And we have Donald Sumter, who plays Rassilon. Unfortunately, Timothy Dalton was not available to return, and maybe that was a good thing. Maybe he dodged a bullet. Rassilon is severely underused in the story, and it's a real shame. This story should have been less about Clara, and it should have been more about the Doctor and the Time Lords confronting each other. The story it's so all over the place. It doesn't know what it wants to focus on, and then it starts to focus more on Clara and the Doctor, and then you just think, well, what was the point of everything that happened before? Nothing matters. With the idea of the confession dial as well, I would have loved them to lean more into that and to lean more into why this was all kind of set up for the Doctor, why this whole thing was built to him coming to Gallifrey and leading to the Time Lords. But no, not explained. And it seems as though this was all done so Stephen Moffat could write in that Clara goes to Gallifrey or gets a TARDIS. What the fuck is going on in this story? It is so nonsensical. It is so stupid. And I just scratch my head trying to work out what the hell is going on. And this is an hour-long episode. It's so long. It's so dull as well. I'll give it this. Like, Peter Capaldi, he tries his best with the script that he has, but it is a very weak script. He still delivers a very emotional performance, and it is kind of cool when he just strummed the electric guitar to the Clara theme. I think actually that was quite sweet. I did like that. And Jenna Coleman as Clara, well, I don't think she should have been in the story. I still think that she, again, does the best of what she can, but again, it's very clear that this was the point where they were sort of pushing the female Doctor angle. So you could tell the next Doctor was going to be a woman. Based on the ending of this story, Clara flies off in her TARDIS with a shielder. And again, Reed setup. You know, I think if Clara was a more popular character, that TV series might well have happened. Or it might resurface one day. Who knows? And visually, the story is good. Like, the production values are decent, but this is still one of the worst Doctor Who stories ever written. It is so fucking bad. It is such a mess. And it so undoes, in such a bad way, it undoes everything that happened before. Stephen Moffat, I know, is trying to be clever, trying to be mysterious with this, and he was trying to undo it in a way that was clever, but it comes off as pretentious and then confusing, because you're like, well, there's no stakes to this. It doesn't matter anymore because there's no consequence. You know, what's the point? You know, you're in a time travel show where characters who die don't stay dead. And what's the point? Because that has no impact whatsoever. If you can just bring characters back or take characters away from their death moment, what is the point? Especially when they said in Face the Raven, you can't avoid your death. And Clara is back in the TARDIS with the Doctor, even though she doesn't have a pulse. You know, he's like temporarily broken the rules and taken her out. But then what are the rules? Where are the rules? There are no rules that are established. It makes no sense. Moffat makes no effort to explain any of this. This story is a fucking train wreck. Disgrace to the history of the show. A disgrace to Peter Capaldi. And a disgraceful ending to Series 9. This is just terrible. And I hate this story. I fucking hate it. It is really bad. And even the stuff with Maisie Williams. But the first act of the story you can tolerate, when the Doctor gets to Gallifrey. And it's quite nice to see Gallifrey again. And when he goes exploring and he comes across the villagers, and then he's captured by the guards, and he's confronting the Time Lords. Like, all of that stuff was the best stuff in the story. It's not good because it was boring, but at the very least, you could watch that, and that was the most entertaining part. So I still think this story should have been about that. It should have been about the Doctor and the Time Lords, and there should have been a massive standoff on Gallifrey. Like, there's such an easier way to write this, you know, but because Stephen Moffat is the way he is, he wanted it to be about Clara, and that's what it ended up being. So my final rating for Hellbent is a -12 out of 10. Yes, because 12th Doctor, get it? So well done, Stephen. Well done. Fuck you very much. You ruined it. You completely ruined this series. So now that is done, we have Series 9 finished. Series 9 is, much like Series 8, very inconsistent. Capaldi, unfortunately, is let down by the writing. It's just so bad on occasions. But then it's also very good. There are some stories that are very good. It's a mixture of quality. And that finale just completely tanks. Really does. Like, if Heaven Sent had been the first of a two-part ending, that could have been very, very good. There are some strokes of gold here, but very few and far between. It's a mediocre series at best, because there are a handful of decent stories that you can enjoy, and Capaldi really grows into the role for me. I think he's better in this, in his performance. He's better, despite the cringy comedy. I'm glad to say, though, that the worst is over, and we will be moving on to Series 10 very soon, Capaldi's third and final series, after the next two Christmas specials. But before I go, I would like to just give my ranking, my mini ranking of the stories in Doctor Who Series 9. And this is just personal preference, just my opinion. If you disagree, that's fine, but just be polite in the comments below. Okay, I believe there are 9 stories based on what I've got here. So number 9 is Hellbent. Number 8, Sleep No More. Seven, The Magician's Apprentice and the Witch's Familiar. Number 6, The Woman Who Lived. Number 5, The Zygon Invasion and the Zygon Inversion. Number 4, The Girl Who Died. Number 3, Face the Raven. Number 2, Under the Lake Before the Flood. And number 1, Heaven Sent. So, thank you very much all for watching. What do you think of this story? Please comment down below. Let me know, and stay tuned next time when I review The Husbands of River Song. It's the 2015 Doctor Who Christmas special, and thank fuck we are away from this story now. So thank you very much all for watching. Please hit the like and subscribe button, and until next time, I'm Pajack's Perspective. See ya. Bye for now.